Governor, thank you very, very much. My dear brother, Prime Minister Raila Odinga, come on the stage with me. You brought me here, and you cannot leave me alone. Your Excellency, the Governor of Kisumu County and the First Lady of Kisumu County, Your Excellency, the other governors that are here, if I try to go in any order of protocol, I will get lost. So let me say or use something that we have manufactured in Nigeria. We say, all protocol observed. I come up here to express appreciation and thanks. First, to the governor of Kisumu County for making this first tag to take place here and for contributing to what I call, and I think you can call it, a renaissance, a rebirth of first tag. But for me, I have a little bit of emotion because, as you heard, we had first tag, the first one in Senegal, in 1966. And for 11 years, there was no other one. Nigeria accepted to stage one in 1975. And we were preparing for it. Then there was a change of government. And some people said we should cancel it. And I said, we will not cancel it. We will host it. And we hosted it. And we brought black people from all over the world. Papua New Guinea, Australia, American natives. They all converged in Nigeria. And we had a very, very successful first tag, 77. Since then, it seemed maybe because we left it entirely in the hands of governments, we don't seem to be going anywhere. And at this juncture, I will want to commend and thank Yinka for your effort, for your tenacity, and for making FESTAC to come alive again in my own lifetime. And one of your friends that you call up said to us, and rightly, that Africa has no reason to be poor. That we are poor is not an act of God. That we are poor, or if you like, potentially poor, because we are not potentially without resources. That we are at this moment poor is because of poor mentality, if I may put it that way. And we have to wake up our ideas. What don't we have? When you go back into history, energy that others needed to make them wealthy, that energy was taken for 4 centuries through slave trade and slavery. We were carted away to the so-called New World using the energy of our forefathers to make others rich and to impoverish us. And that hasn't stopped. Slave trade and slavery gave birth to colonialism. Again, resources and energy of Africa being shipped out to make others rich, while we remain poor. And it hasn't stopped. We wake up and they say something structural adjustment. That was the idea of the World Bank. And then I said, what are we adjusting? We have no structure. And you say structural adjustment. You are deceiving us. You are cutting away our resources and continue to make us poor. And I was saying, for those of you who do not know, I was put in jail because in 1994, is it that I came here? 1995. I came for Jaramogi. I think it's the final first anniversary of the burial of a man I revered very much, and the opening of the Mausoleum. And I was invited by this young man. And I came. And I went back to Nigeria. And I got back to Nigeria and I was arrested. I was given two charges. One was that I have come to Kenya to collude with the opposition to bring the government of Kenya down. And second, that I was planning coup in Nigeria itself. So I was sentenced to 30 years imprisonment. And thanks to a friend like Prime Minister Raila, who contributed to my going to prison. When I came out of prison, another thing that I found was something they call globalization. After I've stayed in prison for 3.5 years almost. And I said, what is this globalization? And then I studied it. It means open your door, open your house, let me take whatever I can take out of your house, and then I close my door and my house to you. That's globalization. And that was sold to us. And again, we lap it up. When are we going to stop accepting these received ideas that will not work for us? We have to. And the old African adage says, if you want to go far, you work together. If you want to go fast, you walk alone. In our case, we want to go fast and go far. So how do we do it? We have to walk alone and together, so that we do not walk in silos. If we walk in silos, we will be destroyed piecemeal. We have to work together. And I saw what you could get when we hosted FESTAC 77 in 1977. People from Papua New Guinea came to give us their problem. Those in Australia came to give us their problem. The black people who are oppressed, who are marginalized, who are exploited, and all of us, of course, who are being exploited, came together. And that has not stopped. And I believe that it will not stop until we get our acts together. And the renaissance of FESTAC is part of the way of getting our acts together. Unless the AU, as our continental organization, does what it should do and make Africa continental free trade agreement a great success, we are not going to get there. AU itself needs reform. How can you have a continental organization that has program, and after it has made program, is waiting for European Union to bring money out? not too long ago, I was appointed, and I think I'm still AU high-level representative. When I was appointed, AU has no money to make me perform. We were waiting for European Union. We were waiting for America. We were waiting for Germany to give us money. And how much is the money? Because of my connection with Africa Development Bank, I called the president of Africa Development Bank. I said, I have this responsibility. I have this job. What can you do? He made money available. And that was why we were able to achieve what we were able to achieve for Ethiopia. How long will we go in that sort of way for? And how much money did he make available? $500,000. That was what was required. And AU could not make it available. So we now, as the deputy governor, said, we need a man or a woman, a person who will understand the problem of Africa and what role AU has to play. And I believe that we have that man in Prime Minister Raila Odinga. He understands the problem of Africa because he and I have worked on that problem before. And as the governor of Kisumu County said, we work together and brought about NEPAD. The governor and I went to Singapore. I think it was 1994. Governor. And our host then was Lee Kuan Yew, a good friend of mine. For 2 days, Lee Kuan Yew sat with us. This was before he wrote his book, From Third World to First World. And we want to know the magic. We were all there, about 40 of us. And after 2 days, he said to us, there's no magic. We, in Singapore, did a few things right, and we continue to do them right. In our individual countries in Africa, and collectively, as a continent, what are we doing right? And if we know what we are doing right, do we continue to do them right? If I may give an example of many countries, including my own, we take 2 steps forward, 1 step aside, and maybe 1, 2, or 3 steps backward. That cannot be progress. And that cannot get us there. And the truth is this: unless we are able to get there, we will not get the respect of the world that we deserve. We will not get appreciation of the world that we deserve. We've talked enough about poverty. Me, I don't talk about poverty now. I talk of wealth creation. Poverty alleviation, anybody who wants to alleviate poverty, let him go on. Me, I want to see wealth being created. And we can create wealth. We have everything to create wealth on the continent of Africa. Nobody will do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. And if we don't do it for ourselves, we are all sitting on a keg of gunpowder. Our youth are restive. Our youth are unhappy. Our youth are dissatisfied. Our youth are bitter. They are angry. They are unemployed. And when we want to say something, we say, well, we have, 2063. As one of them said to me, now 2063 may be all right, but by 2063, he was pointing to me, you will be dead. If I remain as I am now, poor, I will be dead. I cannot wait till 2063. I want something now. And they're right. They want something now. And if we don't give it to them, we will be in trouble. You have to give it to them. And we can give it to them. It is within our ability to give it to them. What has changed between 1977 and today? A bit has changed. In 1977, Namibia was not independent. In 1977, apartheid was reigning. In 1977, Angola and Mozambique were torturing. They are not really family on their own. In 1977, Zimbabwe was not independent. But all these countries are independent today. So if by 1994 we've got rid of apartheid, we've got rid of colonialism in Africa, we have got Africa politically liberated. Today, Africa is not economically liberated. And that's why we need a man like my brother, once again, to lead the African Union and give us that reform, that leadership of the continental organization that will liberate us in Africa economically. And That is our duty. For me, as long as I'm alive, I will continue to contribute to that obligation, that duty, and that responsibility. And my brother, when he gets there, not if, when he gets there, you will do what you have to do to liberate Africa economically. And I wish you the best of luck.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here.
Wow. Wow. Hello? Hello? Ladies and gentlemen,